Hi, and welcome to the Virtual Assistant Hub. My name is Alf Markusen. I've been hiring and working with VAs for the past 18 plus years. And it started way back in the early 2000s when I was together with another friend of mine starting another company. And we had so many tasks that we needed to do that we were just overwhelmed. And then we started hiring VAs. And many of them were coming from the Philippines, also some from India, where we can get really skilled labor and at a very affordable rate and great people. So if you are starting out a business or an entrepreneur now that have so many things to juggle, hiring somebody in your own country is going to be very expensive. Whereas if you live in Europe or if you live in the US and then want to hire somebody to help you with certain things, you can get people hired at a very affordable rate. And you also will end up paying them well compared to what the other people are making in their country. So it's a win-win all around. I'm not going to go into too many details here today, but I'm basically talking to you, the company owner, the entrepreneur that's struggling with all of these tasks, and you should only focus on the tasks that you are really good at, whereas you need to delegate all the other stuff that takes time and are tedious and repetitive. And that's where the VA comes in great. I actually take it up a notch with the VAs as well. I enjoy working with somebody, talking through certain problems. That's also why I also hire higher quality VAs that have that capability. And all of those things you can figure out in advance, or at least quite a bit of it. And so a couple of things that I do and that you will learn about in this short course here, how to screen them. Do we even get on a call with them? Because I set up forums and systems to ask them questions. They do tests before I even meet them. For instance, they do a typing test. That tells me a lot about if they say they worked 5 years online, and if they type really poorly, then obviously I know that that's not true. I also have them do a speed test, an internet speed test, to see how their connection is. They need to record a video doing that. So I say use such and such software to do that. And immediately that's also a test. Are they capable of using the software? Are they following my directions? I'm starting to get into some of the details here, but I'm just telling you that the way I screen people and hire people actually screening comes down to also checking on their references, of course. And also when it comes to interviewing them, I personally interview them and I get them on a video. So because I want to see them, I want them to see me. I want them to know that I'm for real, and I want to know that they're for real. So that's something I started doing in the later years, because I didn't think of how important it was early on. But I've totally realized that now, that it is very, very important to do. So I send my VAs directly to a form to fill out. And I do a couple of tests with them too, just to see if they pay attention. And I usually do, well, actually, I always do a second interview. And I pay a close attention to if they show up on time. Are they prepared? Do they ask good questions? I mean, the list goes on. So there's a lot of things that you want to watch out for when you want to work with somebody overseas. And trust me, I have had the worst of worst things happen to me. I have people that have pretended to be one person and they stole the identity from somebody else. I had people doing double tasking with me, where they worked on something else, where they charged me for it. And so I have systems in place for that too. So those are the kind of things I don't want you to have to worry about, because I cover all of that in my course. But also I provide services where I hire people for people so that I can help them go through none of that headache to actually have to hire and screen them and knowing or not knowing if they did things right. So that's another service I also offer to make it very easy. And another thing I'm doing this very moment, actually this week, I took one of my best VAs and handed it over to another friend of mine that needs a VA desperately. And I interviewed her again a second time. I went through her resume. I asked her more questions because I wanted to make sure that she was really qualified for this person and in this job. And then I pitched her to him, and that was just perfect. They're a match, and they got on a phone call, a video call, and he loved it. And that will be the first VA he's having. And it's a very important job, and I wanted to make sure that she was fit for that. So anyway, whatever you're doing, looking for a VA, looking for assistance from other people overseas, I have lots of connections. I have thousands of people in my database that I have interviewed, believe it or not, that have applied for my job. I carefully color code them: orange for red for stay away from, and green for good. And but even some of the ones that I have marked in orange, they just meant that they weren't fitting for the job I had. But I take detailed notes for each person I have. I have their resumes, so I can totally immediately see what they've done. And when I revive them again, so to speak, when somebody else comes to look for a new VA, I check through my system if I have somebody in my system, and if it doesn't fit that role, then I go find them. And I have an extensive network overseas where I can tap into other VAs that have worked for me that can also send me referrals. But of course, they go through again the same system, the same thoroughly check that I always done. So if you're looking for VAs, I definitely feel that I'm your man, and to help you find your VAs, you can ask me any questions you want, or if you tell me about certain things you're looking for, I can probably accommodate that. And anyway, thank you so much for checking out. Click the link below if you have any questions or comments. I'm here always to respond to your requests, and I'll see you on the other side. And here's my famous high five. See ya. Bye.